Good morning or good evening YouTube. When you're watching this video here, the hero will already be out for testing in the trial arena, but yeah, I just felt like I had to talk about her before I'm going to test her. So let's just take a quick look at the skills and what we can expect from her. Okay, this is Noel, the new Christmas limited hero. Wizard Eye, attack type, and red mark. On her basic attack, marvelous gift box, she does attack damage and attack detonation damage to a single enemy, inflicts one layer of scare box on the target. The S2 here is the exploding magic box. It's gonna summon 5 boxes to attack enemies randomly, prioritizing attacking different targets, which is kinda crap in multi-target situations, but whatever. Each box deals 100% attack damage and 190% attack detonation damage to an enemy and inflicts one layer of scare box on them. So basically it can put the 5 scare boxes on hero now that I read this here. Scare box is when casting exploding magic box. Each time for every one layer of scare box owned by an enemy, the damage taken by the enemy each time equals to 170% of the previous time. Each enemy is calculated separately. Okay, all scare box will be removed from all enemies when the skill ends. It can be stacked to 5 layers. So basically, because each enemy is calculated separately and she's doing it to 5 different targets, we must assume that in an AoE situation she's just going to do 170% to a 5 people team. But against bosses, it's going to go and ramp up very, very high, right? Because it's going to do 170% damage of the previous time, like 5 times. So it's a very crazy scaling on that. But I don't think she's going to do a lot of damage on bosses, to be honest. But we'll see it when we test it, right? I feel like she is mostly a PvP hero here. Okay, so her passive here, Whimsical Charm. If self has the highest initial attack among allies, gains immunity to control effects, compares the target's HP percentage before and after self cast Marvelous Gift Box, or deals damage by casting active skills if the reduced HP is no higher than 10%. Additionally, deals attack damage, 400% attack damage once, ignoring damage immunity, with 100% crit rate and 100% piercing. Besides, 100% of her mastery is now converted to crit damage in the duration of the attack. Okay, I think this is like because it's checking it before and after. Maybe if she's hitting Boreas against his damage immunity wings, it won't do any damage, so she's gonna register that, and then she will still do the 400% attack damage that ignores the damage immunity with some piercing and crit rate. And yeah, I think something like that is why they have this passive like this, okay? And then the S4 here grants all allies Absolute 2 for 2 turns and remove all buffs from all enemies. Meanwhile, this 100% attack damage and 570% attack detonation to all enemies. And afterward grants Surprise Present, which is immune to dot to all allies, which is fantastic. Also against PvP. Against Giselle, right? Erato will still ignore that. She can still do damage. So the exclusives here, Noel is immune to turn meter reduction effect, and all allies are immune to Counter's Curse, which is Agatha E5 ability. So she's a straight up counter to Agatha E5 anti-revival mechanic. So you have Noel in your team, and Boreas and the Serpent Pit and all of that can still do some resurrection. Then also says here, after an ally proactively launches basic attack or cast active skills, increases Noel's turn meter by 5%. Very good. She's gonna get a lot of turn meter when allies attacks. When an enemy increases an ally's skill cooldown, Noel refreshes the cooldown of all ally skills and acts for 1 extra turn. This effect can only be triggered once before Noel acts next turn. Basically, this is a counter for Lydia, and it's going to be interesting to see if it's actually a counter to Lydia, because if you pair Noel and Kane, you know Kane against Lydia will cast his S4 like 8 times, right? And because Lydia is getting hit, then she's going to counter attack with her passive thing, which is the ones that locks people down with the skill cooldown reduction, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see if Kayn does too many attacks in a too short time frame, so that Lydia can still do her stacks and get the cooldown reduction going, right? We will have to see that on Thursday or Friday, right? Okay, anyways. For every 8 basic attack launched or active skills cast proactively by allies, Noel will use the Christmas magic, which is her S4, to pursue an attack once and gain warmth. Warmth is 4% attack per layer up to 10 layers. When warmth is stacked to max layers, increases all turn meter increase effects on Noel by 100%. Okay, so meaning if you're gonna give her 20%, she's gonna get 40% instead. After allies take basic attack damage or active skill damage once in any turn, Noel gains illusion, immune to basic attack or active skill damage taken next time before the current turn ends. When any ally takes basic attack or active skill damage 4 times in total in any turn, Noel gains 10 layers of warmth immediately. So basically against the multi-stage enemy, she's gonna get some warmth ability and she's gonna be immune to damage and stuff like that. Exclusive 3. After an ally deals damage by proactively launching basic attack or casting active skills, if the target has 40% or more HP, she's gonna additionally deal direct damage equal to the whimsical charm once, which I'm assuming is 5 times that weird ability or something like that. After Christmas ends, Christmas magic ends, inflicts 1 layer of scare box on all enemies. At the beginning of each wave, it reduces turn meter increase effect by 100% for the enemy who has the highest initial speed. So that is kinda a counter to Absara maybe, so that she can't get off the turn meter from the beginning of the battle. Now, looking at this here, I would say definitely a PvP hero. Doesn't really look too interesting for PvE, to be honest, especially because she is burn tag and also direct damage tag perhaps, or maybe single target attack, we don't know, but burn at least you have, and we already have Kayn and McCarthy doing a lot of damage. She's gonna replace Chelsea or Little Jack or Big Jack, someone like that in the team, because we need Sotra for some extra ability, shielding I think, and stuff like that. So not too sure about this one, to be honest. Her multipliers are pretty low, to be honest, and they have a hard time making burn heroes correct in damage, right? I mean, McCarthy is gonna do much more damage, I think, in PvE than Noel, and that's just my assumption here, right? Also, the S4 kind of weak, only give resolute buffs. She's not really giving any buffs to allies. No like damage buff or anything like that, only resolute, which we already have, I think. So she's definitely just a PvP hero for me at least, but we'll see. But the E1, definitely you can get her exclusive 1 and then stop, I think. If you just want to counter Agatha and Lydia, you can probably just go for the exclusive 1, to be honest, which is super nice for people who don't want to spend too much money. E2 here is the, well, damage immunity and stuff like that on her only. That's like a selfish ability again, doesn't help any allies. And the E3 is also just gonna help herself, nothing that helps allies, and obviously it's gonna reduce the turn meter increase by 100% for the enemy with higher speed. So, but I think overall you can probably get away with just having her exclusive 1, to be honest, if you just want to counter that Agatha ability. So you can use her in the team with Boreas, Kayn, Nikki Leaf, and maybe Absara, maybe someone else, and do pretty fine in arena, I think. So we'll have to see on, well, tomorrow actually, or when this video is live, she will be out, right? So have a nice evening, guys. Cheers, bye.